The hunt for Bismarck is on this week in World of Warships Legends. If you go to the store, you can find a free bundle that'll give you access to a mission. And if you complete the mission, the reward is a commander guise called Unsinkable Sam, which is a cat that apparently survived the sinkings of not one, not two, but three ships in the World War II era, one of which was Bismarck. And in addition to that, if you don't have the Bismarck, I believe it's discounted for either XP or credits on the tech tree, or both, for the next week or so. So now would be the time to get it if you don't have this legendary vessel, which ultimately is a fairly decent ship in World of Warships Legends. It's been a while since I've featured it, but this video, or this battle I should say, is fairly decent. We've got Azerlane Prinz Heinrich at the helm, same build that I've been using on the Preußen after testing it out with Hipper. And basically my idea was to build this thing for accuracy. Back in the day, it used to be a ship that you'd want to build for secondaries, and you could certainly still do that, but I think it's been power crept by the German battle cruiser line. And also, Bismarck has been buffed since its debut in the game. It now has slightly improved pen angles on the guns, and I think the guns were made more accurate than they used to be to begin with. You can also get a camo for Bismarck, by the way, two of them in the store, one of which you see here, meant to depict Bismarck on its final voyage. The other one is meant to depict Bismarck at the bottom of the sea. I don't think it's very aesthetically pleasing, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. Both of the camos cost 5,000 doubloons, although they're marked on sale in scare quotes, for 4,000 doubloons. If I remember correctly, I've had this camo for Bismarck for quite some time, years maybe, and back when I obtained it, it was only 750 doubloons. So I don't know about the price increase. It's not like the camos, I don't think the price of them are exactly justified, and Bismarck's free historical camo that you can make with paint, just right from the port screen, looks fine enough. It's aesthetically pleasing enough, I would say. There's no need to buy this, but the Unsinkable Sam guys and the discount on the Bismarck itself, both of those things are fairly nice to see, maybe worth pursuing. In any case, with the Bismarck in this battle, since we're built for accuracy, we are going to try to hunt broadsides, and our first target is the North Carolina. We spawned on this Charlie flank with one single other battleship who is busily pushing straight into the cap. Perhaps not an advisable idea, but his presence there is requiring the enemy battleships to push into him. And if we go over here to the far flank, well, as you can see, we were able to get North Carolina's broadside and hit his citadel at least once. Meanwhile, we've got Belfast, who kited away and looks like he's returning. Our goal now is to get our guns on the starboard side of the ship. We're going to take a shot at Belfast, but looks like our battleship teammate is probably going to be sunk here very shortly. I assume North Carolina is going down as well, but there's still a mostly full health Flandre in that cap. Lead on the Belfast there, not quite good enough, but did you see the dispersion on those shells? Very nice indeed. In any case, the friendly battleship does go down. Belfast is busily shooting away at, I think, the cruiser that is approaching the Charlie Cap from the south. And Flandre, for that matter, has eyes only for that cruiser, appears to be suffering a case of tunnel vision, because he's going to come around this corner, flat broadside to us. Maybe he doesn't respect the power of the Bismarck's guns, but one thing about these French battleships is if you aim right under that second super firing turret, like we do there, well, that's how you get citadels. Two citadels, in fact, on the Flandre. He was pretty healthy before that, but now, well, he's on his way back to port after he takes the torpedoes from the Surrey, who's going to do a great job in this match, by the way. I think by the end of the proceedings here, he's going to be second on the leaderboard, which is nice for a Tier 6 cruiser in a Tier 7 game, especially a British heavy cruiser, whose armor scheme is practically designed to eat citadels from enemy battleships. The flank here on the Charlie side is now clear, aside from the Belfast and whatever destroyer is inside of the cap. It's some pan-European destroyer, I think, not the Split. It's one of the ones from the other line, I believe, the Scone. There's his torpedoes coming at us, but of course, Bismarck enjoys a sonar consumable with a decent ship spotting range and a much longer duration than the sonar you'll find on the GK or the Preußen. Torpedoes from Scone are no problem. He's caught in the sonar, desperately trying to run away. I think he shot his main battery guns at us, though. And so, well, he's not going to be going dark here. We're a few seconds away from reloading. Our secondaries, even though we're not built for them, are trying to hit the thing, but ultimately it's that Surrey, our friend in the Charlie Cap, who helps take out the Scone, and that eliminates the enemy team's only destroyer. So it's just Belfast over here on this flank now, and, well, pushing into a kiting cruiser is not necessarily the best use of your time if you're playing a battleship. If we push into that Belfast, you can see we're already lit on a double fire. I suppose if he lights a triple, that won't activate our fight fire with fire skill because we've got DCP ready to go. We're not going to deploy it though, since the fire is almost burned out. And we're just not going to push right into the Belfast. If we do that, he's just going to HE spam us on the way in. We'll probably be able to take him out, but we'll lose a lot of HP and we'll simply be playing to his advantage. Instead, we'll go toward the other side of the map where the rest of the enemy ships are. If we've zoned Belfast out of this cap, it's going to be a while before he comes back around, and it looks like the Surrey is on his case anyway. As for the team, there's still 8 minutes left to go in this match, but theoretically it could go either way. Belfast gets himself spotted by the Surrey, so on our way out of the cap, we can take a parting shot and sink him with 2 additional citadels. That's 6 of them so far in this match. Bismarck has a reputation for not being the most accurate battleship. I suppose that is true of the entire OG German battleship line, but really the accuracy is fine if you use an accuracy-focused commander. And essentially, you can make the same build with Franz von Hipper. The only difference is you won't have access to the Master Mechanic skill, so you can't get 5 heals. You'll be stuck with the base 3 heals. But of course, if you take my philosophy and you build into concealment with 2 concealment inspirations on your accuracy build commander, well, then the Bismarck can be quite stealthy. I think our concealment is 11.9 kilometers by sea. Very stealthy, allows you to get much closer to the action without being focused, so that you can get into sort of brawling range, which maybe is not 100% necessary when you've got these sniping capabilities. You could always play a little bit more passively in the beginning of the match, and then push in when the herd thins out. Speaking of which, all that's left is the enemy aircraft carrier Saipan out there, who has just gone unspotted, but will soon be revealed by our old friend the Surrey. However, we've got a Mono out here, IJN light cruiser, who is showing his citadel straight toward us, and also missing us with his main battery guns. Of course, we miss his citadel with our main battery guns as the Saipan sends some torpedoes right up the prop shaft. A very unpleasant experience indeed. However, I doubt Saipan and a Mono are going to be finishing this match. Saipan is currently being focused by the Surrey, which regrettably means that we won't get to sink him ourselves. We'll just have to be content with the Mono here, who he's given broadside once, and he seems to be under the impression that no armor, in this case, may equal best armor. But we've already seen the Bismarck absolutely obliterate the Belfast, and, well, the Amono not much different, although he's left on just enough HP that he gets to survive for a second longer. But that shot against him there nets us our 7th Citadel hit, the high caliber and Confederate medals. And even though Amono is turning around and turning away and he's got no HP left, well, there's our 8th Citadel. Although you could consider it a Pitadel, I suppose. 138,000 damage as Saipan goes down and the game ends. And I thought this was just a nice little showing in Bismarck with Azerlane Prince Heinrich at the helm, accuracy build. You could equally use Henry J. Hyde and get a similar build, or Franz von Hipper. In any case, though, I think these days I would recommend you build the Bismarck for accuracy in the main battery guns. Why not when you've got something like the Zeton that you can use to push in and enjoy good secondary power? Bismarck, unfortunately, I don't think quite matches up to that. The main battery gun build, though, as you can see here, very useful, particularly if you can position yourself to get the enemy broadsides. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.